Hi folks, today I'm here to talk about what are standards and what are your boundaries. People often wonder standards are attitude or standards are defines you and make you in a living in a bubble. But I will talk about what are the standards and how it's not actually limiting you, it's actually freeing you to set up your own standard. Hi folks, this is Dilruba Chowdhury. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please consider to subscribe for your relationship advice, and whoever are old subscribers to me, thank you for watching and coming back again. So let's talk about the standards. Standards are your own rules and priorities and your own like and dislikes. So you decide what would be your standards are. Standards could be anything, if you would like to have a cup of tea in the morning instead of coffee, that could be a standard. And if you could keep your standards, like in a relationship you wanted to have a shower together, right? That could be in another standard. And some people doesn't like to take a shower together, that could be their standard. So you see, the standards are not meant to be always unhealthy or it's a restrictive manner or some rules. It's just your likes and dislikes. And if somebody doesn't like your own standards, that means they are not compatible to you. It doesn't matter if they are so fine and they are in so much high value people. Standards can vary. So don't give in your standards in order to just please someone or have someone that is so high value, because ultimately it's not going to work. Because you come up with your beliefs and your rules of standard just because you like it, you feel certain value out of it. That's why you just made your standards so clear about you. So you will come up with that standards regardless down the road living your life, and you are not, you won't feel like to compromise for your standard to anybody. So I would say define your standards first. Don't just pick some rules, pick some ideas that just makes you feel like you are a valuable person will take, or it is a good standard. Don't just pick like that. Make your own standard and play with it. Remember, like don't just go with the flow. It is your own choice. It is your own characteristics that makes expression of that standard. So picking up some of the boundaries, some of the limits that you will tolerate or you will go to beyond that, it's not gonna like make you uncomfortable or it's not gonna make you feel like you are giving in. Those are your limits. So play with it in your mind and set your standard based on those things that actually makes you feel like you are compromising or sacrificing something just to adapt that new thing, adapt that new limits. Then don't go beyond that. Keep your limits into where you don't feel that you are sacrificing in. So that would be your standards limit. So I would say, to define your standard, don't follow any defined standard that people are always like following and it's a trend. Play with it. Try to imagine a situation that that standard has been broken. How would you feel? How would you react? How would you cope with that, play with that in your mind, and then define the standards. And remember, your standards are actually a part of your personality, part of your characteristics. So if that doesn't get met with any person, you are not gonna be happy like living with them. It's gonna be a friction of interest. So remember that, and then set your standard, and then stick to that. Because knowing your standard is really, 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 really crucial to go into a relationship, before you go to a relationship, because that's going to come up down the road all the time. You are going to live with that. You are going to be facing them all the time. So pick up your standards, know your standards, and then stick to that. Be able to express that without hesitation, and try to understand if that standard match with the other person, and if that just make them feel uneasy, uncomfortable, or it makes them feel they are sacrificing, or they are not comfortable with, then that are not a match. So that was my quick video for you today. It's just a quick tip to make your standards in your mind, and know your standards before you go to a relationship, and try to understand the other person's standard, so that you don't be unhappy down the road with them. All right, so see you next time again in my next video. Until then, love.